Hello and welcome back to the course on Tableau, and today we will be looking at the dataset for this section of the course. So let's get straight to it. We're going to need a browser, and here we're going to go to datascience.com/Tableau, and now we're going to scroll down, find section 3. So we're looking at time series aggregation and filters. Ooh, interesting. Okay, so long-term unemployment statistics. Let's right-click, save link as we usually do, into our folder. I'm going to bring that folder up. Tableau course, there it is, long-term unemployment statistics, and let's open it up and have a look. And once again, if you don't have Microsoft Excel, then feel free to install OpenOffice. It's a free piece of software which works on both Windows and Mac, and you'll be able to view these files there. Okay, so as you can see, the format of the file is very different to, I'm just going to zoom in a bit, to what we saw in the previous section. So here we have a lot of like duplicate records in each or in many of the columns. So for instance, the period here for the period is repeated. So here we've got January many times, then we've got February many times, we've got March many times, then we've got the gender. So for January we've got 7 rows for men and 7 rows for women. And then the same thing happens for February, 7 and 7, and so on. And then for men we have the split into the age group 16 to 19, 20 to 24, and so on, and all the way up to 65 years and over. And then for each one of these rows, we've got a number of unemployed people. So in that age group of that gender in that period of time. And so this is a very non-human-like way to structure data. It's not something that like you would expect to see if you were given a list, an Excel spreadsheet to just look at. It's not how you take in information very quickly and efficiently. So what humans are more used to looks a bit different, and it wouldn't have all these duplicate records. It would look, this is kind of a pivoted view. As humans, we're more used to unpivoted views. And I've got an example of that, which I'm just going to bring up now so that we can compare. So tell me if this looks a bit better. So here you can see age, so the age groups, and then you've got the year, and then you've got men and women. So if you need to look something up, you can quickly go, okay, so if I need March 2005 men in the age 40 to 45. So March 2005 men, age 40 to 45, there they are. So as easy as that. And it's kind of more natural for people to look at this. But for machines, for computers, it's more natural to look at this because they know exactly where to find everything, and it's just faster, and it's just more of a machine format. So this data is already structured in this format, which is going to be easy to import into Tableau. So this is easy. This is going to be would be much harder to import into Tableau. But don't worry, we are not going to focus on that right now. We will talk about structuring and preparing your data in a separate section of this course. It's a massive topic, and we're going to devote a whole section to it. So we'll do that further down in this course. But for now, let's just work with this data set that we have here, which is our unemployment data. So we've downloaded that. Let's close these spreadsheets. Let's open up Tableau. There we go. And here you can see our previous 2 workbooks that we worked on. So let's connect to our data source. Let's go to Excel, long-term unemployment statistics, open up. And there we go. So it's in sheet 1. And there's our preview of our data. Looks good. What we're going to do now is we're just going to go to our workbook. So we've actually connected to the data. There it is. However, now I will show you one more thing, a new element to working with data, and that is working with extracts. So you see this button here. You can actually connect to this data but extract it right away. So also you can do that while you're in the workbook, and you can do it from the worksheet, and we're going to do that. So move back to your worksheet without doing any kind of creating any dashboards. Just right click on the data and go to extract data. And so what this does is it creates an extract for Tableau to work from. So basically, instead of connecting live to a data, the data is going to be extracted into a separate file and then is going to be kept there. So we're going to click extract, and here you can choose where to save this file. I'm going to save it in the same folder. Click save, and now you can see that the icon has changed. It's got this little arrow, and if you right click, it says use extract. Now if we go to the folder, which is here, you can see that there's a new file that has been created, sheet 1, long-term unemployment statistics. So this is the extract. So our data from here is now being kept in here. So this is like a copy of the data, and if you open it up, you won't see anything basically, because it's a Tableau formats it and keeps it in its own way. So what happens now is if you change anything in this file, in this file that we originally connected to, then nothing will change in your workbook. So if you change the data, you will still have the old data in your extract. So it might be a good thing, might be a bad thing. If you don't want your data to change after you've connected for the first time, then it's a good thing. If you want to keep your data updated to the original data source, which doesn't have to be an Excel spreadsheet, could be a database, could be a CSV file, could be anything, then you can do that as well. So you go to Tableau and right click here, you click extract and you refresh. And then here it gives you a question, you say yes, and your data is refreshed. So why would you use extracts? Well, it's quite simple. We're still working with small data sets, but when you start working with big data sets or dynamic data sets that often change, using the live connection might be slow, and it might not be reliable. It might be constantly changing. It might be hard to work with. So that's when you create an extract, you do your work, and then you decide whether you need to return to the live connection or keep working with the extract. And if you want to return to live connection, you can always do that. Just right click and uncheck use extract. And then right away you can see now we're using the normal connection again. And that's how you work with extracts in Tableau. So for us in this particular example, doesn't matter. We're just going to keep using the extract because our data is not going to be changing. We don't really mind what we're going to be using going forward in this tutorial. And that's all for today. I look forward to seeing you next time when we will be looking at working with time series. Until then, happy analyzing.